Hi guys and dolls, welcome back to my channel. It's another Wednesday and I'm super excited, but hold on. I know I'm not supposed to be eating this, but I was really craving chocolate. I had to. Anyway, happy Women's Month. It is March again. We're celebrating women's history. We're celebrating strong, beautiful African women, smart African women, women in technology. While we're celebrating that, I personally want to cover the topic of feminism. I also want to cover feminism, which is faux or pseudo-feminism, fake feminism, non-feminism. And I would like to also cover the African notion of feminism and dispel the myths that a lot of my African brothers and sisters have about what it means to be feminist. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe right here, okay, so that you can be part of a notification gang, you know, and as part of a notification gang or the notification squad, you will be the first to know every time I drop a video, okay, every Wednesday. Okay, so let's get this started. So first of all, let's look at the definition of feminism. We can have a chocolate mukbang while we're at it. Define feminism.
Feminism, the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
Alright, you guys, did you hear it? Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. Period. Point blank. Nothing added, nothing subtracted. So this is for all my African people on the TL, on the timeline, my African women who are like, oh, I don't want to call myself a feminist because, you know, that word is loaded. Honey, loaded with what exactly? Loaded with what? With truth. It's so simple. Feminism is as simple as humanity. If you're a humanist, which is to me the best is to be, if you are a humanist, by default, you are a feminist. Because a humanist is looking for the better and the good for all humans, regardless of sex, regardless of race, regardless of creed, regardless of anything. So far as you're a human, your equality, your well-being is important. Okay? Feminism pushes this idea of equality, of gender equality, gender parity. Do you understand? So it's not a woman sitting on top and oppressing a man. It's not a woman, you know, basically hating men. And that's the misconception that I cannot stand in my community, right? Feminism is not, being a feminist doesn't mean you hate a man. Being a feminist doesn't mean you don't want a man to do, you know, what men are supposed to do. That's gender roles and whatever. Being a feminist means you want equality of the of both genders. You know, you want equal pay, you want equal right to be in school, you want equal right to be at work, you want to share parenting equally. Yes. Now, let's not confuse feminism and chivalry, which a lot of African men also like to troll feminists about. So I've heard a lot about, you know, I've seen on my timeline some African men say, you say you want to be, you know, feminist, you know, you want to be a feminist woman, then why do you want me to pay the bill when we go on our first date? Why do you want me to take out the trash? Why do you want me to open the door for you? By the way, I'm an African man, so you know that was not going to work safe. Why do you want me to open the door for you? Why do you want me to rub your feet when you're pregnant? Why do you want me to do all these things? Like, you say you want equality. You pay the bill now. Me too, I'll pay the bill if I want to, or we can split it into half. Isn't that feminist? There is a difference between chivalry and feminism, okay? Chivalry is a form of kindness. Yes, it has to do also with gender roles for men, but it's being a gentleman, okay? It's just like a woman being a lady. I don't necessarily ascribe to what it means to be a gentleman all the time, or what it means to be a lady, you know what I mean? But I will say this: acts of kindness will never go out of fashion. Acts of kindness to your significant other will never go out of style. Never, never, never. And chivalry is just that. It's traditional acts of kindness that are expected from men. Do you understand the difference? So acts of kindness that are expected from men does not mean that women cannot do these things too. Like, I can open the door for you if I want to. I can take you out on a date and I can pay for it if I want to. That's equality, that's feminism. And for you to be truly feminist, as a woman and as a man, you have to take your ego out of it. It requires a certain level of selflessness on the part of both men and women. Because this patriarchal society, right, it is literally not just like, when I say it's a man's world, it's not just a man's world with women living in it. Do you understand? While the patriarchy serves men better, the patriarchy is also highly protected by women. When you hear that saying women are the custodians of culture and you live in a patriarchal culture, what does that mean? That means the women have carried this culture of patriarchy, have nurtured it, have perpetrated it, and it will be difficult to let it go because women are the custodians. It is women, it's Nigerian women, it's Ghanaian women who pamper, who raise their sons and, you know, allow them to be a lad. Anthony Joshua, we heard what you said, honey. Yes. And allow them to be a lad. Allow them to go out there, you know, have 20 girlfriends, come back and say, Junior, how many girlfriends do you have? 10. Hey, Junior is a boss. So, you know what I mean? And then slut shame their daughters if they come and say, mommy, yeah, I'm 18 and I'm 16 and I have a boyfriend. Prostitute, you want to bring money in my house, you want to bring Bella in my house, come for me. Spit it out. You know what I mean? They will slut shame you, they will call you irresponsible, they will call you loose for the idea of even dating. It's the same women. They'll send you, go and cook, go and do it. It is women who are custodians of this patriarchy. If a woman says, if all women decide we will no longer raise sons who think they can go and have 20 girlfriends and it's okay, no honey. You will treat women with respect. If you want to play around, feel free, but you know your sister can play around too. You guys can all play around but be responsible. Or, I don't want any of you guys to play around. This is how I want you to treat women. This is how I want your sisters to treat women. This is how, men and women. This is how I want you to relate with people. This is how I want you to think in a relationship. This is how I want you to think when you deal with people around you. If women put their foot down and decide to change this culture together, it can and it will happen. If we are raising the future, then we are capable of birthing and raising men that will literally see women as partners, as smart, as intelligent, you know, as soft, as kind, as everything, as all-encompassing, just like they are. Egos aside. Do you understand? So women have a lot to play in fostering the patriarchy and fostering feminism as well. So to African women out there who literally work hard, you know, take care of their siblings, cook for their households, love their brothers, love their significant others, want to, you know, create and engender change in their community, want to be leaders you know, in their places of worship, wherever it is, want to be leaders in their community, want to be leaders in their place of work, of art, of whatever you name it, you know, want to compete with men as well, want to sit at a restaurant without someone saying, madam, sorry, you are here alone, you cannot be here alone. It says no soliciting, and you'll be looking like, but I'm not soliciting. But yes, honey, they think of you as a prostitute, because in Lagos and in some places in Africa and in some places in Europe, I guess, and in some places, you know, in Asia, you need to be accompanied by a man or you will be, you know, thought of as a whore, a prostitute. You just want to have a drink. So it is women who can change this culture so that you don't have to walk into a bar to have a drink and someone look at you like you're a whore because you need to be accompanied by a man. No, you want to just have your drink. You want to go out. You want to have fun with your girls. You want to love as many people as you want and as little people as you want. You want to have as much sex as you want or as little sex as you want without being judged, without being labeled, without being insulted. Do you understand? So in order to do this, and if this is what you want, then you are a feminist. And it is okay to say it. I want everything that I want. I want to be my full self. I want to live a full life without my gender, without my vagina obstructing my happiness and my progress. Now this takes me to men. There are a lot of men on the TL, the timeline African men have seen, who also don't know that, you know, are so scared of this word, but then they raise women, they raise children, they raise their daughters to take first in class, to beat John, who, you know, who has been taking first. You've entered this class, you will take that first from John. Who pushed your children to go into technology, their daughters, who pushed your sisters, their daughters, their mothers, you know, to take over companies, to be rational, to be smart, who push them, who encourage them. You know, there are men who have daughters who they push to be the absolute best and tell them that, listen, because you're a woman doesn't mean that you will sit in the house and cross your arm and wait for a man to save you. No, they raise women who can even save men, who can uplift everything around them, who can save themselves, and who can be there for their families and communities. And then these men don't understand that, sir, what you're doing is pushing gender equality. What you're doing is pushing for gender parity. When you say that, my daughter is the head of this company, yes, and she's making this much million, same as the guy who's the head of that company. Or my daughter is, you know, VP here and she makes the same as someone who is VP there, as a man who is VP there. Yes, you want to know, yeah, your daughter is making the same amount of money, she's killing it, you know, she's single or whatever, yes, and she's killing it. Some men want their daughters to have partners and not men who will lord over them. To the men like that who raise powerful women, who raise smart women, who raise women leaders, you are a feminist. Carry it. You push for equality, for humanity. Embrace it. It's okay. It's a beautiful word that has been tarnished, and I don't understand why, you know. And let me also tell you what feminism is, that I don't understand why people refuse to admit this too. If a woman wants to stay home and take care of her children and be a housewife, that too is feminism. That is not pushing women backward. If a woman sees that motherhood, and motherhood is a very important job, and says, I want to be a full-time mother to my kids, you know, or maybe I want to work from home and run a business while I take care of my kids, or I just want my kids to be my full-time job. That is okay, and that too is feminism. Seeing your responsibility in that way and seeing yourself shaping the future of tomorrow. Children who are smart, who have agency, who are kind humans, who contribute to society. That is an amazing thing, and that is feminist too. She could make that choice for herself. Nobody forced her into that category, into that role. Do you understand? So there is a difference between, you know, gender roles that are chosen and then gender roles that are pushed upon you. You know, this is where like all the chivalry and everything comes into play, all these traditional things. There are lots of traditional gender roles that are fine, they're okay. If a woman wants to, you know, and this is the thing, this too is feminism, right? So I say this, while you can be feminist and you can be traditional in your own way, because feminism is not a new thing in Africa, it's not new. You lot have grandmothers, great grandmothers, that when they tell you their stories, you're like, ah, yes, she was strong, she was smart, she wanted equality. My God, she was feminist. Yeah, there's African feminism, are you kidding me? There are women who have literally fought for themselves and to make them to get to certain levels and certain roles in society from time immemorial. I'm Igbo, so I definitely know that Igbo women have a long history, you know, of being feminists as well. You know, so all these things are not new. So you can decide like, okay, babe, this is what's going to happen, right? You and I are partners in this relationship. I want to do this. I want to stay home. I want to be the one who cooks because I cook better than you. I want to be the one who cleans the house because I actually enjoy doing it. I want to be the one who does this and does this. What do you want to do? And he can decide, I love cooking too, so I want to be, you know, cook once a week, maybe on weekends for us. I want to, you know, I'm going to take the garbage out, I'm going to be the mechanic, I'm going to clean, you know, to fix the lights and stuff, you know what I mean? And because he decides to take traditional, you know, manly roles, you know, traditional gender roles, and you also decide to take traditional gender roles, does not make you guys fall back or push women back or whatever. No. It means you guys are communicating together as partners, as, you know, discussing what roles within the household, within the private sphere, what roles you want to take to make each other better, happier, and to grow as a unit. That too is equality. That too is feminism. So what's most important to me today is to just dispel these myths and to let you guys know and understand the beauty of feminism and the simplicity, the gross simplicity in this word. To be feminist is to want the equality of both genders. It's to push for that agenda. Do you understand? So this doesn't mean that you should bang the door at the girl who's coming out of the, you know, who's walking behind you, or that you shouldn't open the door for a person you love. These are acts of kindness. This is chivalry, you know. This doesn't mean a woman cannot also open the door for you. This doesn't mean a woman cannot, you know, allow you to open the door for her. She can if she wants to, you know. And if she doesn't want those soft pink, you know, things that, you know, some women want, and she can say, babe, it's okay, you don't have to open the door for me. I'm good. It's okay, babe, you don't have to carry me to the bedroom when you're about to, you know. I can walk, honey. I can walk. Can we walk? Can we walk to the deck? Can we do that? So yeah, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. That's it about what I'll be discussing about feminism. But this is such a broad topic, yeah. We can talk about, you know, gender parity when it comes to pay gap, when it comes to religion. Ooh, that's a topic. But there's so many things we can discuss when it comes to the subject of feminism. So if you want us to delve into this, if you have questions and you want me to address them another day, or you want me to, you know, like answer some questions in the comment section. I am not an expert in any of this, but I read, I try to stay woke, try to stay woke too. I can recommend some books for you guys to read. But yeah, just drop a comment and I would be happy to answer your questions. Until next week, I've been your host, La Chichimamba, for Pop, Salt, and Pow, Pow, Pow Culture. Alright, ciao you guys.